365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter, and today I'm so extremely honored to recognize and to celebrate our service hero, Dr. Karen Perkins. I met her slightly over 2 years ago. She interviewed me, one of my very first ones. Lights, cameras, action. Now, today, a full circle is taking place. I am honoring her as today's service hero. Welcome, Dr. Perkins, also known as my friend Karen.
Hey, I'm so glad to be here with you. I'm missing you. This quarantine has been hard because I don't get to physically see you, but seeing you live on this is wonderful.
Well, thank you. I agree 100% because we've gotten to know each other over the last couple of years and visit with each other face to face, be in the same locations. And I have to ask, because you are known as the nomad, you travel everywhere, you live everywhere, anywhere in the United States and throughout the world. So where were that you caught in quarantine?
I have the opportunity to be with family. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm in Utah. I'm in Salt Lake with my son and his soon-to-be wife, and kind of giggling about the fact they're going to have a virtual wedding.
Yeah. I mean, how many people have actually, so many friends that I have, of course, they're the parents now, but so many have had to cancel, have had to reshift, rework, and everything.
Yeah.
So they've decided to go with the virtual wedding, huh?
They're just going to do the virtual wedding. We've had virtual bridal showers, and we've had virtual birthday parties. We've had some fun, and people who are doing it with us have gotten kind of excited. My other son's birthday, everybody got their own birthday cake at home, and he didn't know he was having it, and the wife said, "Come look at this on my computer," and then we all yelled surprise.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we sang to him, told him what we loved about him, and then everybody at the same time at their houses cut the cake and ate cake and ice cream. So it was a lot of fun.
That's a great idea. I love it. That's a great way virtually. You always come up with the best stuff. I loaded some pictures. I have to just go here right off the bat, and then we're going to talk about a variety of things. But, this woman, she travels all over the world. She speaks, and she's fun. She's just fun.
Yeah, my tool belt.
She teaches amazing concepts, but, it's always energetic, fun, different, unique. She can wake up the crowd, definitely. Yeah. And then, and this woman is, yes, a doctor. She's a PhD. She is a master's prepared, a PhD in business. This woman knows what she's talking about. And then she teaches all these amazing concepts. So, let's kind of like talk about a few things. When this is the very first time I've ever gotten a chance to see your one sheet. Can I just ask you a couple of questions? Because I have to say, first of all, this is the best one sheet I've ever seen, or sheet that I've ever seen.
Can I give you a secret, honey?
Absolutely.
Do you know Miss Sonia? Sony?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, talk to Sony.
I talked to Sony. Oh my gosh,
she did that.
Oh my goodness. She is okay. Shout out to Sony. I want to give some shout outs this morning. Actually.
I think so. Sony Jackson, she is a hero.
And yeah, she
Dr.
is.
Dr. Sony Jackson.
Yeah.
And she has saved me in the 9th hour several times now. And she's amazing. And if anybody needs somebody to project management, to do copywriting, to fix your copywriting, she's the best of the best.
And I'm just going to make sure we're live again, because we had some problems, guys, going live. We had to reboot, start over. That's what you do. You don't give up. And I'm not seeing any comments, but I know we have people here, so I just want to see if we are showing that we are live. Yes, we are. Okay, wonderful. Okay, we do have people with us, and I just want to recognize you. We have Rachel. Yes, they're starting to show up now. We've got Andrea Adams Miller. In fact, I want to do a shout out to Andrea.
Andrea is
Andrea,
the best.
I have to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for Keep Smiling. Thank you for the red carpet connection, and thank you for you. And in truth, I don't understand why this happened. However, I kept thinking, I think that you were always a service hero. And Andrea comes to me and says, "What about Karen Perkins?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness. Oh my
You're like,
goodness."
Karen, she's just a goofball.
Oh, no, no, no. You were definitely a service hero on multiple levels. And when she said that, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm almost embarrassed that I had not nominated you and I had not already recognized you. Because, there's certain people that have been around nearly since the beginning, and you're one of them. And,
Yeah,
I just,
and it was really hard when the wheel was formed, though, because I wasn't sure how to adapt to having wheels with from the beginning.
I know the Flintstone cars are always the best, from those days. But
Oh, Tamara, I'm sorry to tease with you.
oh no, don't be. I love a good laugh. Definitely keep smiling movements. Keep smiling, and I am beyond honored that Andrea Adams Miller has officially recognized Service Heroes and Tamara Hunter and everything that we are doing as a sponsor. And I am deeply grateful, very honored, humbled. I can go on and on and on because Karen, because you've been in this industry for a while,
Long time.
yeah, a long time, and you have been all over the world traveling it. You have such important information that you've shared with the top companies, in countries, uh, so many different genres, and a lot of the significant people and the quality people, and to have Andrea Adams Miller to officially recognize, and to be able to come out today and share it with everybody, and that you're here because this is a lot of what you do. You help people with legacy. You help people to get their message out there. In a really, with the building blocks and doing it right. And so I just want to officially say thank you to Andrea.
Yeah, she's the best.
She really is. And one of my board members from Chemo Buddies for Life, which Service Heroes came out of, supporting Chemo Buddies for Life and helping people to understand there are so many wonderful people like you, Karen, that are out there making a difference. So thank you, Skip, for recognizing her. How do you nominate someone for a superhero? I love that. You're a superhero as well as a service hero on Karen and all. Rachel, you let me know who it is that you would like to have honored and why, and we'll talk. And then I'll have an opportunity to we'll go from there. So, my dear, I have to ask about this. I have to. It's the very last line on here too, but it was the one that I was like, okay, there's so much of a story here. Was smuggled out of Bolivia in the back of a Jeep under a tarp and boxes during an uprising of civil unrest. Tell us about that story, if you would.
Well, I was on a humanitarian aid mission, and we were in Bolivia and was supposed to be heading down to Peru. And we had a few days left in Bolivia, but there was some civil unrest, and they were burning things down, and the streets were all lined with Coke in jars, bars, bottles and jars filled with things in flames. And if you had any hint of not being from the country, you were being slaughtered and massacred. And so the folks that we were there doing humanitarian aid with took us and put us in the back of their Jeep and put boxes and blankets over us. And they literally drove over people's yards, over schoolyards, over fields. I all over the place. And they say, okay, no one. So we would peek up every once in a while, and And we drove like that for about 2 hours, and they couldn't get us to the border because there were people blocking the border, so they backed up and went into the Copacabana city, um, which was interesting because it was the only city there that was in Bolivia that was not in any unrest. And we stayed there a couple of days, and then we had to basically hike it to the border to get across the border into Peru, and then pick up with the people in Peru that we were doing humanitarian aid for there. So yes, it was a lot of fun.
I have visions, Karen, and okay, again, remember the tool belt, guys. This woman is fun. Fun's her middle name. I mean, technically, it's Renae, right?
Yeah, Renae, run away with fun.
But yeah, it's fun. Your middle name to me is fun, and I have visions of like somewhere. Or Sound of Music, but it's not the Alps. We're talking South America. But you're, and you're hiking over the mountains for dear life to get away from the revolution. and instead of Nazis, it's Bolivian, extremists or whoever it was at the time for the civil unrest. Oh my golly, and you're smiling, and
I'm a little sick, but it was kind of fun. Let's be honest, that's kind of fun. Now, I could have been screaming and crying and yelling, but that would have taken away all of the enjoyment of seeing all of the cool things I will never get to see again. Knock on wood.
Right, exactly. And Andrea here is saying that you're one of the authors for one of the Keep Smiling books that she and Ken and Barry Shore produced.
Yay! One of the best books in the whole world.
I completely agree, and in fact, I have right here featured. I featured it before, but this is the only one that's been ever done in red because of the red carpet, connection. However, the Keep Smiling books usually have the smiley guy, the little smile. Does he have a name, Andrea? I'm wondering. I should know that. So is yours out and produced now?
Absolutely. And you can talk to Andrea, and she will get you bunches and bunches of them. Huh, Andrea?
Wonderful. Because I will tell you that what it is that you teach. Okay, so let's get into it. You are a service hero because, there's certain messages that I believe are so profoundly based in service. That is what you're all about. And in fact, when we were talking about your family, I've now met some of your family, and I've gotten to know you as an individual. And that is something that is deeply ingrained in you and your family. I mean, your daughter, she was there to serve. Your husband's been there to serve. I think it was a grandson was there and serving. And yes, those are keeping the memories alive with you. However, you are teaching for that next generation, the next two generation, that service. And so you believe it is part of taking control of your destiny, right? Not only your personal destiny, and you help other, like organizations, businesses, individuals, entrepreneurs, all of the above, communities take charge of their destinies. You're also teaching it to your to the next generations.
Yeah.
That is huge, because you know what it's going to do, guys? And then I'm going to let you just really talk about this, because it's from the core of you. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. You're actually someone that is going to help us, especially right now, because we're talking April the 25th, 2020. Help us with your message and your mission to get out of this with, if you will, control of our collective destiny, right?
Yeah.
That's huge.
And people, they talk a lot about change. And changes, well, here, pat me on the back. I am one of the country's top 5 change
Yes.
management consultants and managers, which basically with corporate means that they bring me in to help people feel good about the fact that their life's going to suck for the next 2 years.
You're on board. Get ready.
Yeah.
Belts on.
Well, and you know, I've seen so many places in homes, in business, where they say the floggings will continue until the attitude improves. No. So let's break this down. What is it you want to get? Is it what you really want? Where are you now? How do you want to get there? What steps do we have to take? And then you divide it down into those steps. Okay. So with business, they do that now. And they have, you know, your spreadsheets and your change management plans and your, and I've gone blank on what they're called, but you know, your points and timelines, and you check it off. Yes, I hit that. I hit that. Are we doing that in our lives? And so many of us, when we decided what our main goal was in life, somebody was helping us decide, and it may or may not have been what was good for us, or what we really even wanted to do, or maybe we did then, but things have changed. And you know, many of us get to a certain point in life and we go, is this it? I thought I'd have more by now. I thought things would be different. Or a major catastrophe happens and we go, look at all that I didn't do because I was waiting until someday when. And you lost it. You know, my mother used to tell me, you only put off for tomorrow what you're willing to have died, leaving undone.
Oh, that is good.
Isn't that awesome? Only put off for tomorrow what you're willing to die having left undone.
Andrea, she's doing some quotes right now. I would love for you to put that in a comment. And by the way, the answer is Mr. Smiley. Okay, for those that were waiting for the answer. Okay, so all right, so never
put off for tomorrow.
Never put off for tomorrow what
you're unwilling to die having left undone. Or actually, it's the opposite. Only put off for tomorrow what you're willing to die having left undone.
Oh, that's good.
But what do we put off for tomorrow? Think about it. And my poor grandson, he's lived with it this week. I just got to get this done. I just got to get this done. I just got to get this done. And all of a sudden, he didn't get taken care of. But hey, I got this business stuff done and I know better. And so I know when I get caught up in it, knowing better and teaching it, the people who don't fully understand the ramifications, that's their life. Just someday when. And you know, an example, a business corporate example, how many executives, I can't tell you how many I've met, that work to make lots of money, to get promoted, to give their family security and financial freedom, and to buy them nice things because they want to take care of their family.
Right.
And then one day they go home and their family is gone because all their family wanted was them and their time.
Right.
And now they're left with nothing. Right. The one thing that mattered the most to them is gone. And those that have the ability and the stamina left to start a new family, they no longer spend all their time getting that next promotion or that next client, and they're still making as much money. But they say, no, Friday at 3:00, I'm out of the office. Don't call me all weekend. You know, and Tuesdays from 1 to 4, I'm gone. That's when my kids' ball games are, or whatever. But they've realigned their true core values with their path in life. And that's my whole purpose, is to help people discover. And I think we did it, and I trick you into how to do it. And I don't mean to trick people, but unless you do it this way, you have no idea.
Yeah.
You know? So I have a way to help you find sincerely and authentically your true core values. And once you know what your true core values are, now we can get your game-changing plan and put it together and have your roadblocks and cross the, how do I get around that, and have your, here's going to be my point I need to hit, and here's a step I need to take, and here's how I get help, and here's who I get help from. And now you've got your plan, you've got your roadblocks are out of the way altogether. Because you know what, you know how to get in the back of the Jeep and throw a blanket and boxes over you to get past those roadblocks. And trust me, honey, nobody has roadblocks so bad that their life is in peril as much as having bombs going off around you and having roads covered in flames that if you drive over them in your Jeep can explode. Okay? So that's taking control of your destiny. It's like, yeah, off-road.
Take that off-road to destiny versus wandering towards your predictive fate.
Yeah, I love that. You are writing that down for me to have, right? Because that was good. That was really good.
There you go, Skip. Yeah, he's pretty good. He whenever he's in there with our group, he always comes up with the aha moments. It's kind of nice to have board members that are like that with you, and then people around, and again, like people that believe, because when you believe in something, you're all in, and so much so, guys, let's be clear, this woman, when I said nomad, she literally goes from location to location because she's all in and believes in this so much that she has like one of those, I don't know, do you have like a platinum with diamonds on it card for the hotel chains that you live in?
Yeah, we're the highest level. Both my husband and I are the highest level you can get individually with the hotel that we stay at, and forever. I mean, there's like 20 people in the world that have it, and we're 2 of the 20 individually. Something's wrong with that picture. And the same on the airlines, and even now with us not being able to go to hotels in the airlines, they're calling and saying, okay, we're going to extend this for a year. I was like, okay. So
you literally have, you've gone to at least, I know, 50 countries now. What countries haven't you been to that you want to go to? So guys, listen up. If you're listening from that country, let's make it happen.
There is not a country in the world I wouldn't want to go to.
There you go.
I mean, there really isn't. I'm going, which country would I every one of them. And, it's just, she's like, the new movie release. Yes, by the way, yesterday the movie got released. Woohoo!
I want to talk about that. I have that in my notes to really dive into that, to figure out what it's all about, because it sounds pretty significant. And so you've been going, okay, so you go all over the world. Right now you're in, that's why I was wondering in the very beginning. I'm like, okay, I was wondering, did you get stuck somewhere, or?
Yep, I did.
And I'm glad that you're with family. That's if you're going to have to like shelter in place, it's nice to be able to shelter with those that you love and have those times. And yet you're still, you're still making it happen. A surprise virtual party. I love that idea.
That's fun.
Yes. Okay. So a red carpet connection, here we have Andrea, the queen of PR. Love it. And she is helping us to see that right now you're involved in a movie that has premiered, and like, as I was reading about it, there's even the question here that, like, is it going to ever be in the movie theaters? I love movies, guys. Anybody that watches the show knows how much I love movies. And this one, it says that you, will it be available in the movies out there, but that it is living first class. Let's talk about what is this? How did you get involved in it? it looks like it's got some of the major players out there. It looks like it's going to be so completely impactful. What's the behind the scenes story?
Yeah, I'm trying to get in here and type in the link. They can go to look it up, but it doesn't look like it wants to let me type a link. Oh, there you go. I can type it to you.
Okay,
There
I
you go.
have. Is this one
They
in it?
they can go. Yep, you can click. Oh, there you go. But the link is there to get to the site to get more information. But how thoughts become things. It's all about living first class. But we've got a good number of the same cast members that we had in The Secret. You know, Bob Doyle, Bob Proctor, John Ashroff, and Joe. You get it.
Right,
And
right. I mean, guys, we're talking A plus 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 team. We're talking, this is huge.
yeah.
Huge. Okay, so.
Yeah. Well, and they were looking for additional experts and ones that had a little bit more expertise in the thought and the human behavior arena. And so they said, would you be willing to be in this movie with us? And so, I helped them put together quite a bit of stuff. A couple of the younger gals, we used some of my stuff, and that's awesome. And then I'm in it as well, of course. And then, Bob Doyle and those guys, they all have their own stuff they'll have forever. But
Yeah.
it just came out yesterday. Right now it's a download only. If they go to my own personal website, though, and that is Dr. Karen Perkins. Isn't that easy website? Dr. Karen Perkins, Dr. Karen Perkins. I actually have some freebies I'm giving away when they get the movie. And the movie is incredibly inexpensive. I can't take my son to McDonald's and get a kid's meal for me and him for the same price.
Oh, wow. Well, okay, so how thoughts become things. I will be honest with you. When you and I visited, and I have a picture of this. Okay, guys, don't shoot me on this one.
Because I'm a goofball. I'm very intelligent. I have a scientific way of thinking, but I love to play around. Oh yeah, look at that one. I love that picture.
And it was brought to my attention because I was so new at this, guys. I represent a nonprofit that works with cancer, and I'm wearing black, and people are like, what are you thinking? And so I love this picture for so many different reasons. It's like, okay, one of my very first camera action situations. I'm there with you. I absolutely adore you. We had this amazing connection right off the bat. And then it's like, okay, now.
Okay, I want to dispel your myth about black.
Okay.
Some countries, white is the color of death.
Oh, wow.
And
yet I'm white today.
And yet our brides wear white. Mm-hmm. Some countries, if a bride wears white, I mean, it's very disrespectful and it does not go over well. You'll see some brides will wear red. Colors are not necessarily representative of life and death, as it is the strength of the moment. And black is not cold. In fact, quite the opposite. Black encompasses all colors. All colors are encompassed in black.
Okay.
And so I want you to no longer feel bad about wearing black and supporting the most wonderful, and being over the most wonderful organization ever, because you are absolutely representing every color in the world and saying that we all have a piece of each other in us.
And perfect timing, because so many of my buddies, I'm seeing them right now, so many of the Chemo Buddies for Life come and support this show, because this show was really started in the very beginning for them. And one of our ambassadors, Helene Wilson, I'm so glad you're here. One of my actual buddies. We have one of our buddies, Sherry McQueen. Grateful that you're here, and we've already recognized Rachel, and Erin is here too. Erin Houghton, she is enjoying this. Skip, of course, we know, and and so many of the buddies that are here. And I want to go back to this again, because how thoughts become things. The fact that when did, and let me ask you this before we go here, when did you start your career going out on the road? How long has it been?
Let's see, 1742.
I love this woman.
I've actually been on the road, well, on and off since about 89, pretty much full time since 2000.
Okay, because I was going to say it wasn't since then, right?
Yeah, see, there's me. I'm really a blonde.
I love this picture. I had to pull it up, guys.
That is my senior high school picture.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so I ask you this because, again, how thoughts become things. When you decided to go out on the road, here you have a family, here you have, and you're very dedicated to your family. You have a higher level education that you decided to go for business degrees. You are, though, a thought leader in regards to how the emotion and that's what puts you at the top 3%, is it? 5% in change management, because you're all that, and yes, a bag of chips. And because you make it fun, you make it memorable, you stamp it in. I mean, this woman, when she speaks, we got these little sombreros that like we got party prizes when she spoke. I mean, it's like, okay, that anything is possible. Make it fun, make it a party, make it memorable, and that way you can control your destiny. You can make change happen. And when they came to you, I'm not surprised, because I want to know, when you decided to do this back in the 80s, did you have that in your thoughts? Did you have it in your intentions? Did you have this already worked out in your mind? So many people do that then make things happen. I would love to know, because you've got a little bit of both going on. You're such the practical, and you're such the intention driven thought leader that that gets out there and helps others to make a change.
I think what I envisioned was that I would find a way to help one person at a time, in many ways. But to me, if I help one person take control of their destiny, they now have an impact on their children and their grandchildren and their neighbors and their friends and their parents and their siblings. And that ripple effect, if I can get one adult to change the way they do things, I may have saved a child's life.
Yes.
And saving that child's life now saves a whole community.
Yes.
And, it's not that I did it, it's that one person did it. Mm-hmm. And I tease about it, but it will happen, Tamara. I'm going to be you. I was telling somebody the other day, they said, we really need to get you your own television program. And I said, well, I want to be like Oprah, but more realistically, I'll end up being the Rosie O'Donnell, because that's more of my personality.
I'd watch it.
But I have the intelligence and the sincerity and the ability to be serious.
Yes.
However, I'm pretty quirky.
You are quirky, and I love your quirkiness. I love your quirkiness.
I'm happy with my quirkiness. Sometimes my kids are like, "Oh, mother."
Oh yeah.
And sometimes my grandkids are going, "Oh, mother."
Yeah, I know. I hear you that. Okay, so I want to ask you about your logo.
Oh, both of them. Well, the phoenix rising up is because all of us are always in a constant state of change, and we have a choice. We can just burn in the fire, or we can change and rise up in the flames to become a beautiful phoenix. And that phoenix may actually end up in a fire, and it will rise and become even a more beautiful phoenix. And so we've got the fire and the flames with the Dr. K. And then you can probably see it here, right there. See my fist in flame? That is, you take control. I teach people how to eat fire, and it's so much fun, and it's so easy. You just need to know how. And you can do it. In fact, it's not only fun and easy, but it's very safe. You just have to know the one thing you need to know to do it. And that's what people like you and Andrea and me do. We coach you into the one thing you need in the one area to eat the flame. Okay, but this is grab hold. It's not going to burn you. You're in control. And that's all what my life is for, is not controlling anyone else. I have no desire to control anyone but me. I want to control my part of my destiny. I want to control my part of a conversation. I want to control those things. But I want to give you every single tool you need so that you can take control, be it getting over fear. And I talk about this, fear is false evidence appearing real. Is it real? Then it's a fact. And when you have a fact, you deal with facts. You deal with facts. You come up with the action plans to work around them. Facts don't paralyze you. They motivate you to action. Fear paralyzes you because you don't know. Okay, well, if you don't know and it's a possibility, okay, the fact is it's a possibility. So what do I do to get prepared? But we get caught up in that fear. So you overcome the fear. You find out, what do I have to do to eat fire? What do I have to do to have the courage to ask for that raise? What do I have to do to see myself differently when I look in the mirror? And they're little steps. They're teeny, teeny, tiny. In fact, don't try this at home, folks. The one thing, do not try this at home. But the one thing about fire is flames can't burn without oxygen. Fire cannot burn without oxygen. So if you want to eat fire, you just learn how to control the oxygen. And that's easy. That is easy. If
you're getting
have
so
somebody
much
teach you how.
Sorry to step on your words. I just noticed how many, they're just like throwing the hearts on the screen for you.
Oh, thank you.
So it's easy. It's easy. You're saying. Easy.
Well, it's all easy. You just have to know how. Right. And sometimes it's just one person who tells you one word and you go, really? Really?
Right. And I love this. Aaron saying truth and easy peasy. Okay, now you're an author also. What is it that you don't
multiple books?
Yeah, right. Okay, so the book Emotional Power, that
is my baby. Of all of the books. I love the Smile Movement books and I love all of the others, but that one is my heart and soul.
So tell us why, because I know I've heard you talk about it before, and every time I do, I just like, oh, okay, because if you have not seen Karen on stage, let me tell you, she's probably one. I have seen a lot of really good. I've featured so many of them here as Service Heroes. They have such amazing messages and stage presence and everything, but Karen is in a whole nother league, guys, a whole nother league. So much so that you remember, however she does it, whatever she does, which I know there's a lot going on there, but whatever she does, you remember it. And so I really want to discuss your baby, this, because emotional power, huge.
Well, it's funny because people think, whoa, hit my table. People think you either have logic or you have emotion. And the fact is, you cannot have one without the other, period. And emotional power actually attacks it from that angle. It says, here's the logic behind emotion, and here's the emotion behind logic. And once you understand that emotions are very logical and that logic can be very emotional.
Right.
Now, and it sounds silly, and people are like, "Now it's one or the." No, it's not one or the other. They are interlinked 100%. They are this. They
Mhm.
are this. And if you remove one or the other, you just nothing's there. It's gone. And your thoughts flow through this little itty bitty thing in your brain called the amygdala, about the size of a pinhead. And the amygdala assigns it its physical reaction and its emotion. Okay? Physical reaction and emotion. And what people don't recognize is that opposite emotions have the same physical reaction. And so if you're uncomfortable with something, ask yourself, okay, here's the feeling I'm having. Do I want to believe it's this or do I want to believe it's that? I have that choice. For instance, fear and excitement. When you are petrified, anxious, you get knots in your stomach and your heart pounds and your throat gets tight and your hands. Okay, what happens when you're really excited about something? You get butterflies, knots. Your heart palpitates, pounds. Your throat gets tight. Yeah, your hands get sweaty. Exact same physical reaction. So when we talk about with stage fright, so when you're getting on stage and you feel all that, are you reinforcing I'm scared, or are you saying, hey, I'm excited for this new opportunity? You may not be able to change your emotions, but you can change your thoughts. Therefore, your emotions change. So that for one, with the logic and things. But I want to tell you real quick about a gentleman. Oh, there's so many stories there. But there's one gentleman who had some medical problems and they had to remove the amygdala. And I tell you, people were excited, and that is so horrible. But they were excited because now we can do this study and prove without those emotions that he can accomplish anything. And so the doctors lined up. They got all their study stuff all ready and prepared. They did the surgery, took it out. And man, they're ready to tell the world that you're better off without emotions. The man could not make a single decision. He could not get dressed in the morning because he could not decide what pair of socks to put on. Every decision we make is based behind emotion, and all of the logic we bring in has got the emotion tied to it. And as soon as people can identify that and not be ashamed and not be told, hide it, pretend you don't have it, stuff it, you feel those emotions. You feel them fully. In fact, I talk about the wrath poo. You got to recognize you're having an emotion. Yep, I'm having one. You got to acknowledge what that emotion is. And okay, I acknowledge that I am excited. I am pissed. Oh, that's not a good name on air, huh? I am frustrated, whatever. You acknowledge it and then you feel it. You feel it fully. If that means you have to cry until you're hoarse, cry. Don't get stuck there though. If it means you have to go kick a toy, don't kick a dog or people. That's just wrong. Just wrong. If you have to hit a punching bag, if you have to sing at the top of your lungs or skip up and down the street and feel it, like an idiot, I don't care. But you feel it and you feel it fully, because it's not until you've allowed yourself to feel it fully that you can move to the fourth step, which is P for process. I have felt it fully. Now I can process it. What led me to this? Was it thoughts? Was it actions? Was it something, an intervention that I could or could not have had to deal with? Was it medical? Was it physical, financial? What? I can process it. And once I've processed it all, now I can move to the U, which is use or defuse. Okay, but the use is still there in defuse. So I can use it or defuse it. Anger, can you use that? Oh, yeah, look at the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. And they were angry. And John Walsh, John Walsh, he's angry every week. But look at the good that he does with it.
Right.
I can't tell you how many executives have said, you know what? You saved I've had men coming out, and I'm not picking on men, but they're usually the ones that were told, don't, pull your big boy panties up, be a man, don't cry. I've had men come to me in tears that held top executive positions and said, thank you for giving me permission to have feelings. Because they are not allowed to show them. The people who we are most afraid of because we think they're so mean are people who've been told they're not allowed to share with us that they have feelings. And they go home at night and cry alone. And they don't need to, because they could have dealt with whatever it was that brought them to whatever point to begin with, be it good, bad, or indifferent. All of us feel a minimum of 10 emotions at any given second, any given moment, but some take control. And so we just need to step back and say, do I feel good right now? Yes, great. What have I been thinking and what have I been doing? If I feel good, keep thinking those things and keep doing those things. If I don't feel good, what have I been thinking? What have I been doing? Stop thinking and doing those things. Well, Karen, that's easier said than done. Not really. Not really.
You know, okay, I will say, okay, one story you tell on stage really got me. I mean, you do that. You're funny. You take everybody through so many different emotions so that those messages stay with you. And there's one in regards to the train pitch, the train story, and the refrigerator car.
Which story? I tell so many.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one.
Oh,
You know,
that
and
one. And that is such a perfect story, especially for how thoughts become things.
yeah, because
And
I'm thinking that, and also can we even change our thoughts midstream and everything we're talking about, and that story in itself. I mean, my knees are going off even right now thinking of it. I go back, Karen. You have made an impression on my soul so much
thank
because
you.
you're welcome. I go back to that story a lot to say, am I that person on the train?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it there right now for you to share what you want in regards to that, because and your words of wisdom and your insight into things are so uniquely, you have such a unique way of presenting it all.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I will like to tell the train story, but I'd like to tell a couple of things before that I think people need to understand. Scientifically, medically, chemically, however you want to look at it, your thoughts have such power that it controls machinery. When you think about it, you've got somebody with one of those mechanical hands. How are they controlling that?
Yeah, yeah.
All from their thoughts. And your thoughts actually can change your genes, your genetic structure. Yes, the thoughts control your neuropeptides, which connect to your cells. And when your cells divide, the dominant thoughts that are in there become a singular cell. So you're thinking negative, you got a whole now cell that's negative. You think positive, you got a whole cell now that's positive working for you. Now, luckily, we slough off those cells about every 2 months. So if you've been filling it with negative, that's fine. Start filling it with positive. But I want to tell you about Nick Sitzman. Nick Sitzman, a big old burly guy, young guy, and he had a beautiful family. He loved and adored, and he worked at the train yards and with the box cars and things, getting them all ready to go. And they were having a big party that night, and they were all going to go meet over at the local pub. And Nick wanted to check just a couple of things and said, I'll meet you guys over there. So they all left, and he got up inside of the refrigerator box car to get something and fix it, and the door slammed shut. And he could not get the door open. And I mean, he just scraped at it and just everything pounded. His hands were bloody from pounding and screaming at the top of his lungs. I mean, just anything to get out of this refrigerator boxcar, because he knew if those guys didn't come back and find him, it was over. And he did everything he could to get out. And he finally found a little tiny nail in the corner, and he realized that this was it. So he scraped into the bottom of the boxcar, his last will and testament, so to speak. He scraped in, I love you, and this is the last time I'm going to be able to talk to you, and do this and remember that. And I'm starting to get numb now. I don't know how much longer I can write. My hands have turned blue. It's hard to breathe. And he's writing this, and it's all scratched out, and you can see where it starts to get just less and less energy. And sure enough, in the morning, they found him there in the boxcar, frozen to death. Literally frozen to death. All of the signs of being frozen, the blue and everything. Did the autopsy, and sure enough, he was frozen to death. The sad thing is, though, is that refrigerator boxcar was broken and it never got below 50, 55 degrees ever. But he believed he was going to freeze to death, and he did, because he believed he would. And how many times have we believed we could or couldn't, and so we did or didn't? And it comes back to your thoughts become things. It's not enough to think it, though. You got to take action on it.
Right. Thank you for sharing that, because right now, today, in the midst of everything that's going on, we are at another place where it's a boxcar situation in many ways for many people. And we have an opportunity, and I love the fact that the movie just premiered yesterday, because we have an opportunity right now to make things the way that we want our lives to look. How thoughts become things, and many people are saying, take this moment in time. If you're doing well, if you're in a safe place and everything like that, of course we need to be very respectful of that. However, if you have a moment in time that you can say, all right, in truth, I've been living in a boxcar. I have been seeing it that it is a freezer car, but it may be broken. My life may be feeling a bit broken. However, is it really broken? And does it have to remain this way? Because like you said with the mechanical hand, and how thoughts become things, our brains and our souls and our DNA, like you said, we can literally change our destiny, our DNA. We can also, then that means, like even in my case with my family, our genetics and our generational issues can now stop and be healthy. This is a moment in time unlike any others if we choose to look at it that way, correct?
Yeah. Well, and I'm gonna get on my soapbox as nicely as I can.
Good. Go for it. I'm going to give you a soapbox
I
screen here.
have friends that are coroners, and if somebody's been killed in a car accident, if they've committed suicide, if they had liver disease and died of liver disease, if they have any hint of the virus in them, they're being counted as a death from the virus. Okay, so I want to say that, and I'm not saying that people dying is not horrible, because it is. Okay, please hear that. But what they're also telling me is that people who are showing every sign and symptom of it, if they didn't get tested to show they didn't have it, but people who are dying from it, some of them don't have it, but they think they do. Therefore, they are doing what Nick Sitzman did, and they're letting themselves die. Now, I am not saying people are not getting the virus. I'm not saying people are not dying from the virus. I'm saying that take precautions, but we got to stop hiding, and we can't continue to put ourselves in a hole and be afraid to even come out of it. I walked across the street. There's a park across the street, and I walked across the street the other day, and somebody yelled out a car window, "You're not supposed to be outside." And I'm like, how'd you get to your car? And I just thought, that's so sad. I'm not near anyone. Mm-hmm. And if I were, we made that decision. And, I want people to take this situation we're in today seriously. But I also want them to look at the damage that's being done because of the fear. And the damage being done with the fear is going to amplify anything that would have happened naturally. And I'm trying to say that as delicately as I can, because I know I ruffle a lot of feathers when I say those things, but I, you've got to continue to buy from the mom and pop shops. And
Yeah.
people are going out of business. They don't know if they're going to have jobs or homes tomorrow. And I'm not
Yes.
saying go infect everybody. If you think you're sick, stay home. Period. I mean, that's just common sense.
Mhm.
But also have some compassion for other people, and start writing love letters to your friends and family and letting them receive a letter of hope from you.
I love
You
that.
know,
I
receive a
love
letter of hope.
Yes. Yes. Skip is saying, yes, Karen, no
Yeah,
fear, stand up and live.
yeah,
And then Aaron is backing it up. These two work really well together. They piggyback off of each other.
yeah.
And
Well,
fear
it does.
weakens the immune system. And
Aaron, you're so right. It does. Fear weakens it. And Tamara, you know this. Laughter helped improve your immune system, right?
yeah, oh yeah. We've talked about that. Absolutely. In fact, in our organization, we absolutely every day will remind, have you had your daily dose of laughter today?
Yeah.
Because we need to, it is one of the best things that we can do. That's why I love your energy and your laughter and
That's
your
why I'm
smile
a
and everything.
goofball.
You are a wonderful, amazing goofball making a difference
Yeah.
out there in the world. So, as we start to wrap this all together with a nice little amazing, fun Karen bow, what would you like to share with everybody? I'm going to I'm going to take myself down from the screen for a moment. I'm going to give you a little bit of a time to give one of your final nuggets for everybody to kind of like, oh, wait a minute. Before we do, Andrea's giving us a quote. Laughter improves your immune system. Absolutely. There you go. It's a quote from you. Amen.
Yep.
There you
Yep.
go. Absolutely. I agree 100%. So as I take myself down, what would you like to share and leave everybody with as the service hero that you are, Miss Wonderful Dr. Karen Perkins?
Well, the first thing I would like to share before words of wisdom is, in fact, Tamara and Andrea, you both know this. The only way anyone can get my emotional power book on audiobook is if they're in one of my programs. They can get it at Barnes and Noble or Amazon or wherever, but not the audiobook, just the book. I would like to gift those that are on the program my audiobook. They're going to need to go to my site Monday because I got to make sure that my IT guy has it set up right. But go to Dr. Karen Perkins, Dr. Karen Perkins, and actually go to Dr. Karen Perkins slash HTBT. That should be where it is. HTBT, How Thoughts Become Things. And I will give you complimentary my audiobook on emotional power. But the one nugget I want to leave you with, two, that which you focus on expands. If you focus on the bad in the world, that's all you'll see, even when there's good going on around you. If you focus on the good in the world and acknowledge that bad things happen, but you focus on the good, you will see more and more good than you ever imagined was possible. And the one quote that I am known by is, what you believe is true for you, even when it's not based on reality. You choose what your reality is, and then you believe it, and you live it, and you act as if you. It's not enough to just say I'm going to, or I will, or I have, or I. You've got to take the steps and actions necessary to get there. But if you believe it's never going to work, it never is. If you believe you'll never be accepted by society for this reason or that, you probably won't. But it's not society, it's you repelling them. And you repel them by sending out the energy waves and signals saying, you won't accept me. And they receive those, and for no reason known to them, go, oh, I don't want to accept that person. It's all subconscious. Your subconscious mind is the most protective thing you have. It will protect you like none other, and it is bound and determined to prove you right. So if you believe or say, I never can, your mind's going to go out and find everything to support that you never can. If you say, I will, especially if you give it a deadline, I will, your mind is going to go out and find everything it can to help you and to prove that you will. If you say, I am wonderful, and really believe it, and at first you're not going to, for some people, I know that, but say it like you do believe it. Your subconscious mind is going to look for every piece of evidence to prove that you are wonderful so that you can know how valuable you are to the rest of the world. I don't want anyone here living without hope. There is hope and there is love, and it's there waiting for you. Let your subconscious mind find it for you if consciously you can't, by saying and believing that there is hope and there is love and that you will find it because you deserve it. And I freely give you love and hope, as I know Tamara does and I know Andrea does. And it's there for you, all angles of life. Everything you want is at your fingertips.
Wow. Wow. I know. Wow. I just love you, and a virtual hug through the screen, and I want to recognize what's being said here, because you really, I mean, the hearts just keep going. Love, the frequency of the heart. Go Love 20 challenge by Dr. Dispenza, official news and fan page. Have you been affected? And then Skip says, whether to think you can or you can't, either way, you are right. And
Yep.
then Erin is sharing, you will find what you are looking for. The universe is forever working our favor. You are truly one of the most incredible women I know. And I don't say that lightly. I know a lot of really incredible women, and you know that I do. A lot of them. However, you roll everything into one. You know, the fun, the spunky, the intelligence, the emotion, the adventure, the heart, the soul, the don't think inside a box, live the life you want, all of it. You live it all. So, as I close today on April the 25th, 2020, the Service Hero Show, 365 Days of Awesome, celebrate success through service. Dr. Karen Perkins, you are a service hero beyond measure. You in the depth of the core of you, that's all you know how to be. And then you have figured out your life's mission has been to help others to find exactly that, how to take control of their destiny, how to find the life that they're looking for, how to affect their life with what it is that we've been given. And then also, with what we've been given, make it better because we can. And you teach that to so many. You have affected people throughout the world. And you are currently doing that right now. The gift is so generous. You've gifted your baby to us. I am beyond grateful. And so everybody, Monday, put it on your calendar to go to the website. And
I really believe it is Dr. Karen Perkins, Dr. Karen Perkins /HTBT, How Thoughts Become Things. And they go there, and if it's not there today, it will be Monday, because I will tell my IT guy I told him that's where it was. So.
Okay. Well, and again, what a service hero thing. And it shows your heart. It shows your generosity of spirit. And may I also publicly announce the fact that when we were in Phoenix, you declared during that period of time that Chemo Buddies for Life was your charity of choice for the event. And that again is another sign of how much you care for those that are in need. Chemo Buddies, she loves you guys. She loves our
Yes.
program. It's not just words, it's actions. And so I am so grateful, Andrea Adams Miller, that you nominated Karen, and I can't believe I didn't bring you on before. I'm sorry, but I've always, it's one of those things that you always know that someone is, and so it's so appropriate that today, it had to be today. It had to be during this time that you went live because you were needed today. It wasn't an accident. It was
Yeah.
divine, and it was perfect timing.
And they will all forgive me that I came in from gathering Pokemon. Today's
I love
Canadian
it.
Day, and all the Abras are out. So those are Pokemon people. My grandson got me into it.
I love it. See, this woman has fun. Okay, guys, go out, make
Mwah.
it an amazing Saturday. And for the Chemo Buddies for Life and anybody that is feeling isolated and alone, come and join us in the closed group because we have an amazing chat every single evening at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Today is Success Saturday, led by Barbara Beckley, and she is going to be having a guest that is going to actually be able to give some really great insight into life. And so you want to be there to find out how you can be successful during this period of time and have some humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a lot of love, just like you have shared with us today, Karen.
Well, I love you all, and I love you. I love your movement, and I just want you to know I'm proud to be among your friends, and I'm honored. I'm honored to know you. So, mwah.
It's the same with you. Make it a great day, everybody. Bye.